Hi, I'm Mark Keefe, Editorial Director of NRA Publications here at NRA headquarters. And I have a really unique opportunity because joining me today, I have an old friend of mine, David Blenker. He is the president of Fiocchi USA. And also, even more importantly, I have David Stepan, and he is a board member and investments director for the Czechoslovak group. So gentlemen, I can't tell you how delighted we are to have here. And CSG is a company that's very much in the news today, and that's, of course, because you've had acquisitions like Fiocchi, Perazzi, but now you're looking at the Vista Group. So why is it that the Czechoslovak group is interested in the Vista Group?
Mark, thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here with you and with David. Well, we are managing our businesses in the Czechoslovak group through divisions. We've got 4 divisions. We've got aerospace, mobility, Ammo Plus, and the defense. And I'm responsible for the Ammo Plus division. And each of us, we have a strategy we prepared and discussed with our owner. And we are looking at how we will grow the business, both organically as well as through acquisitions, And through acquisition of Fiocchi, well, kind of like Italian brand with very strong presence also here in the United States, we wanted to grow. It might not have been obvious for the others, but it was just an entry ticket for us. And what else you could be than in the United States if you want to be like a significant in that area?
So, but so with the Fiocchi acquisition, you've learned some lessons there, but there are also some strengths that CSG brings in terms of manufacturing, because you make things bigger than small arms ammunition, you make vehicles. Tell us a little bit more about some of the other businesses that CSG is in today.
I'm usually saying that we have products for the good times, and we have the wrist manufacturer in the Czech Republic, very small company, but very unique. We have also a fertility clinic, and we have for the difficult times, which is kind of like, for example, the defense. As I told you, our aerospace division, it's focused on the radars. For example, 90% of the Indian civilian space is controlled by the products produced by our company. We're also in that area focused on the radars and the systems for the armies. For example, we've got the see-through radar, which you put in front of the wall, and you can see the objects behind the wall, which we're already selling here to some SWAT units in the United States. We have a big MRO, which is overhauling the civilian aircraft. And the defense, we are partnering with kind of like very large companies like General Dynamics. We are producing armed vehicles with them. We are refurbishing and modernizing tanks. In our portfolio, we also have very long-lasting and old brand called Tatra trucks. This is the 3rd oldest car manufacturer in the world. They are not producing any civilian cars for the personal use, but it's heavy-duty trucks. And on that platform, on that unique chassis, we are also using that for the military use, okay? And the Ammo Plus is the division, which is the newest to the group. And we started with the Fiocchi acquisition, and now we are looking at the opportunities, and Vista is one of them.
So there are rumors swirling around because obviously you see a company name, just CSG, people don't know what you guys do. But just because of geography, there are terrible internet rumors that somehow you people are involved with the Russians. I know a little bit about history and geography. I don't think that's the case.
Yes. Well, we are coming from the heart of the Europe, which is the Czech Republic. Previously, it was the Czechoslovakia. And we were very proud, the founding father of the holding was very proud of what we have achieved in the Czech Republic. This is where it comes from, the Czechoslovak group. And we think that we've done really well with the cars, not only with the wristwatch. And so Czech Republic is a member of NATO. We are a member of European Union. As I told you, we supply defense systems. We work with kind of like companies like Raytheon, General Dynamics. We have NATO security clearance. We have local national clearances, security clearances. So if somebody is thinking that we can be tied to any other countries, it's utter nonsense. We've been approved by the CFIUS when we were acquiring Fiocchi. And, it's been passed, now here we are in the United States. But some people still kind of like have the urge kind of like to go and accuse us of that, right? So I cannot stop them. I'm telling you how we see it, how we do business. We are very well recognized NSPA supplier in the ammunition and also in other kind of like the solutions. So I think it wouldn't be possible if there was any doubts about us.
So you brought up the Fiocchi acquisition. And, Fiocchi is an historic Italian manufacturer of ammunition, a very good manufacturer. But the expansion into the U.S. had already started. So, David, you're an industry veteran, 30 years at this. So you've made the transition into the ammunition side from the gun side. How is it to work for CSG Group? How are these guys?
They're a very hands-on business, but they take the time to learn the business and learn our sector and our channel. And they're always there to lend a hand when we need. They're there to grow. But there's never a day that, goes by that if I need help from CSG in any sort of fashion whatsoever, they're easy to talk to and eager to learn, eager to help. And it's been a great transition for us. This year, we've been able to grow year over year, which is unique in the ammunition world in the economy that we're in right now. And we're having a phenomenal year.
So one of the rumors that swirls is, okay, so the Czechs are going to buy Federal and move it to the Czech Republic, which is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard, because if you've ever been in an ammunition factory, I would hate to try and move them. So to that end, what are your plans for CCI, Remington, and Federal here in the United States?
Well, the price has been already disclosed, how much we are paying for the business. And we are here to do the business, right? We are very pleased to be on the largest market with the ammunition and the firearms. And we would be really stupid if we start moving something. Why to move somewhere else where you have an access to the largest market, to the largest kind of like the portfolio of the customer? It's impossible. Even if you have ever been to Federal, Remington, and also to Lewiston, you see it's kind of like not possible. It's people are saying you are buying an asset in the United States. I said, no, we are buying an access to the most talented people there are in that industry. So I'm not going to spoil that, right? This is kind of like, it will stay here. We want to be here. But in kind of like on the top of that, we want that Federal and all the products are probably even available even more in Europe, in other countries where we are strong.
Yeah, so, this is the biggest price tag that CSG Group has paid for an acquisition. But, you're getting, the oldest name in American firearms, meaning Remington. You're getting Federal, really the masters of producing rimfire ammunition in the world, in my view, and that's CCI. So, what was it about how these companies are run and the products that they make that made them so attractive to CSG?
I think it was the process when the management, they announced they want to do the spin-off of these two divisions or the segments into the separate companies. And we saw that as an opportunity. As I told you, within our strategy, we wanted to always go and be bigger on the US market. So that was for us the unique opportunity. So we got our team of the professionals who are doing with the M&A and corporate finance. And we start speaking with the people, with the industry, and then with the management and said, would it be possible? We've been invited to the due diligence process and we put in an offer over there. What is appealing, obviously, when we have Fiocchi 1876, right? You have the heritage, and we know that the brand needs to have a very strong brand. Working with David very close, we monitor the market. We look at what are the other brands are doing, how they are basically performing, where they are in terms of the market share and the price. And it's so obvious. If you want to have a premium price and also quality, you need to have a very strong brand, So for us, it was not kind of like a choice to start looking for some, with all respect to the smaller brands, and obvious choice.
So David, Fiocchi in the United States, it's a brand I know, it's a brand that you see on shelves, but tell us about the American components of the business. What's made here in the United States and Arkansas?
Well, we have two manufacturing facilities here, loading facilities. One is in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's a loading facility for all our centerfire business. It's our newest facility. in the U.S. But our main headquarters is in Ozark, Missouri. We load centerfire rifle there. The 5.7 cartridge is loaded there, as well as all shot shell loaded in the U.S. is loaded in our Ozark, Missouri factory.
So when it comes to rimfire and specialty cartridges, that comes from the legacy plant in Italy.
Rimfire actually comes from CCI. So they, we co-brand each other products, just like we load the 5.7 on the American Eagle and the Gold Dot. So rimfire all comes from stateside. We do have some legacy products that come from Italy. Very few nowadays, but it's still. We have some cartridges we load once a year. The volumes are super small, but having it as a unique offering to our customers, and they really enjoy it.
So, David, the Czechoslovak group, right? Tell us about who owns it. How does the company work? I mean, you see three initials, and you don't necessarily understand the structure and direction of a company.
Yeah, we are a privately owned family business. Michal Strnad, the current owner and the chairman of our board, is a second generation. His father, Jaroslav Strnad, whom actually I had the pleasure to start working for as a consultant, he started small. It was not after any of the privatization. He didn't get any wealth. He started small. He was always in the defense and the metal processing and so on. And then he started basically the money which he earned, he immediately started buying the new businesses. For example, the Tatra Trucks, very famous brand, but it was almost bankrupt. So he got in touch with another businessman, René Matera at that time, and they basically went and they saved the company out of the bankruptcy from 2013. It was not easy. Today we are producing over, I think, 10,000 kind of like the cars, and then we want more, So it is kind of like, we are very serious in taking care of the legacy brands.
As a person who's very experienced in our business, I mean, what is it that you think that the average consumer should know about the CSG group?
CSG's here to continue our legacy, honestly, and continue our traditions in the U.S. They're not here to, as everybody's alluding, bring products over to Europe or bring factories to Europe and things like that. They're really here to grow the business, and it's a business strategy for CSG Group. I've had the pleasure of working with Dave and the whole team since February this past year, and again, we couldn't be in the position that we're in right now without CSG. Honestly, it's they've brought a level of professionalism, and we've been able to fix a lot of issues in the States with Fiocchi. And with our customers are really enjoying what the changes are and gravitating to it. And again, with all those changes and the declining market, somewhat soft market this year, again, we're really excelling over last year.
It was, if I can add to that, thank you. It was very difficult for us, right? We bought a company and it was just the post-COVID boom. So everybody was selling almost everything what you had in the warehouse. And here I came. My background is more in the finance, and I was become responsible for that. And then the U.S. market going like a nosedive, The previous management, they decided that they have done their term, and so I was looking for the new CEO. So we met with David at the SHOT Show last year. So we will have a very soon anniversary. So I was new to the business, and David was kind of like experienced with that. I said like, David, I need help. This is how we start working. And we had a couple of the challenges in front of us, and I can say, looking at the results which are publicly available of certain companies, which you can check, if we are outperforming the last year, it's fantastic results. So we are growing in the market share, even though the prices are kind of like pressured. But there was lots of effort, but now we are growing, which is fantastic.
So. CSG, does more than just trucks and watches and Fiocchi. When you say defense side, you talk about the technology, but there's also some, let's call it kinetic things that you make that are very important, especially today with the war in Ukraine.
Yeah, and actually our group was one of the very first ones because, our production of the artillery shells is in Slovakia, which is the neighboring country with Ukraine. And we had certain stock available immediately. So, and I was working at the time within the group in Slovakia, and we were really one of the first ones when the war started. And it was numerous trucks basically sending immediately with the support of the Slovak and the Czech government to Ukraine, So it's yet another evidence that where we stand, what we are doing, And now till today, we are still a supplier of mainly the tank and artillery ammunition for the Ukrainian forces.
So Czechoslovak Group, a defense company, but Czechoslovakia has a rich history of firearms, especially in that interwar era, where we ended up with guns like the ZB-26 and the Bren gun adopted by the British. So there's a great tradition of arms making and defense in the Czech Republic.
That's very true. I think also the Colt CZ group, which actually helped to, I think also a little bit save the Colt brand in here on the US market, was kind of like the proof that the Czechs are very serious in that part of the segment of the industry. And being like Czech citizen, although it's a different group, Colt CZ, we are a Czechoslovak group, I'm very proud that basically there are two Czech companies who are very serious having an interest in acquiring the sporting segment of Vista Group, So it makes me proud. And as you know, the history is very rich. For example, like the Czechoslovakia was one of the first states who actually supported the state of Israel in 1948, when the state was kind of like established and they were looking for some guns and ammunition. So that was a Czechoslovakia. And they still remember it today. I have a couple of the colleagues and the friends in Israel, and they still remember that.
The news that will be out shortly before this airs is CSG Group has acquired really one of the first names in shotguns in the world. If you're a competitive shooter, you know the name Perazzi, and now they're under your umbrella.
Well, once we entered Italy and we were starting being more seen in Italy as an investor who is very serious in defense, shooting, and ammunition, then the certain people like realized that, and they came to us. We didn't, actively be seeking for Perazzi. But the opportunity came on the market. We started speaking with the family. We introduced ourselves. They obviously got some references how we are doing with Fiocchi because it's a very small market. And so we met, we talked, and they said it makes sense for us if we want to grow and bring some stability to the business to the future. Mauro Perazzi said I would like to work with an industrial group more than with kind of like a gun manufacturer or another gun manufacturer, So this was his choice, and we found an agreement, and we are very pleased. Obviously, it's a boutique production, with the number of the guns they are producing, but it's yet another very traditional brand which we are bringing to our family, which we are very proud of, and it's our commitment to see kind of like that we are really serious in this business. It's not kind of like an opportunistic buy and sell. We are here to stay. Our owner, he is 31 years old, And he said, David, you are building kind of like it for me, just yeah, that's just it.
Yeah, so the acquisition of Perazzi, it takes you just from ammunition, and of course you guys make artillery shells and radar systems and all that. But why the commitment to the civilian shooting sports?
It's a fantastic, I'm still learning. I have some experience with shooting, but David is one of my teachers. How I get better in the sporting and the clay shooting, but it's a combo. It's really beautiful combo. And if you ever visit Perazzi, and when I was very 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 first time, what kind of like the proof test, kind of like test runs they are shooting with Fiocchi. It's already 20 years, and Mauro Perazzi is I didn't put that poster Fiocchi here only because of you. It was kind of well before you, So the companies, they know each other. They've been working on, some cooperation. So it was very natural step, to come it together. So even for Mauro Perazzi, he is not stepping into something unknown,
So David, for the average American who, they see the business headlines, but Fiocchi, Perazzi, soon to be Remington, CCI, and Federal. What do you think the average consumer should know about your company and where you're hoping to go?
We are here to stay. We are a long-term investors. We are not private equity, just trying to squeeze that. We are, if you look at our financial statements and the amount of investments which we are putting back into the business, that's what kind of like to give them the comfort. CSG, and although I am a CSG member, for the Americans, there are the brands whom you trust in the quality, you can count on that. And we are here only to kind of like to help you to get it on the shelves and then enjoy whatever you've been doing that before.
Well, great. Well, David, I can't thank you enough for your time today. And so for more on the acquisition and also these companies, go to AmericanRifleman.org.